So, guys, we'll get right into it. Premier League never fails to deliver. A lot of headlines this weekend. And I'll start with one just to make Suki and our guest, who you will meet very, very soon, just to make them really happy. And I'll pose the question: is Ruben Amorim the best coach in the league right now?
Yes,
That's
all
that's
the
the
way.
that's the leading question for this episode. But
I
I
know
mean,
they are
because
saying
he's
don't.
won
I know they are saying don't get
three
carried away.
straight,
I know they are
yeah,
saying don't get carried away.
three straight wins,
Yeah.
4 out of 5. I think is looking really good. But there are headlines elsewhere. Arsenal keeps putting 3 points in the bag weekend on weekend, even though you could argue, depending on who you are, that they are not playing at their best. But right now, they are 7 points ahead of City, or 7 points ahead of Liverpool, and 6 ahead of City, who on paper are the main rivals, going into this. Is there, and to that point, is there a real crisis now unfolding at Liverpool? Can we say that there's now a real crisis? This is 4 back-to-back-to-back-to-back losses for Liverpool. It's almost unheard of.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
the
And
Premier League.
and, and I can't help to say that my darling team, there's a lot of inconsistency in that team. Can we attribute it to the age of the team? I don't know. I mean, you guys will say. And finally, we have to look down the bottom of the league of the league. Wolves cannot seem to get their act together. Another
Mm-hmm.
loss. They are now the only team that hasn't won a Premier League game since the beginning. Let me introduce our guest to you. Our guest is Kaycee. He will talk about himself. Kaycee supports United. We want to know how long you supported United and why you support, and you still support United.
Still, still support, always will support. So yeah, for thank you for having me on the show. This is
Yeah,
wonderful to be here. So yes,
yeah.
Casey, I've been a United fan as long as I can remember.
Mm.
I remember my cousin taking me to a United game when I was a kid, and that just stuck. So the
Wow.
club has been my love for forever, forever. I really enjoyed all my time supporting, and I know I'll continue to enjoy supporting. So I'm happy to be on the true bench today.
Fantastic. Welcome. So let's pick all those headlines that I mentioned. Which one caught your attention? What do you have to say to any of them? Because left, right, there's just something that we can talk about and debate. So I'll leave it to you guys to pick on some of those headlines and let's talk through them.
We want to talk about Amorim being the best coach in the league right now. I think that's a wonderful place to start. I like
Okay,
to.
fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you notice it wasn't a question; it was a statement because I do believe he's the best coach in the league. That is, at least at the moment. He can always improve, but at the moment he's fantastic. It's not even close. Everyone knows that United was going through a very rough patch, very very rough patch, and the confidence he has put into the team now is one I have not seen in a long time, in a very long time, and I think he is adjusting to the league. Of course, this is not the Portuguese league or what. Now, it took him a while, but he's finding his footing. And that has helped United tremendously. There are a few things that can be fine tuned here or there, but right now he's on fire. The man is on fire. I really do think that the performances are speaking for themselves. The latest run of performances are speaking for themselves. Um, we will do a better job closing out games, but that's going to be as time passes and as the team gets more comfortable and whatnot. But being able to dispatch the champions in their house, yes, they're going through a rough patch. Being able to beat Brighton, who have been our boogeyman for a long, we've not been able to beat them in almost how many games? Was it 7 straight or 8 games?
Yeah.
And doing it in this fashion, it's just wonderful to watch. He is instilling confidence in this team. And let's not forget, United had the toughest stretch to start this season. and look at where Manchester United currently is. So I will say, Amorim, at the moment, is the best coach in the league.
So if you look at the last few games, and now I'm beginning to understand, because I used to moan a lot about why is he playing this person, why is he playing that person? He should play this person and play that person, and it's because it's all around the field. That's why I'm not mentioning any names. But when you look at how he's playing now, last week he started with Harry Maguire.
Mm-hmm.
This week he started with Euro because of pace, right? Because I'm just going back to front. Our goalkeeper has settled into the league. I'm not saying that he's a phenomenal goalkeeper, but Donnarumma at
City?
City is a
Mm-hmm.
very experienced goalkeeper. Come on, he won the Champions League. But this is a young goalkeeper coming from the German league. It's amazing to see how confident he is. Yes, he can't play out from the back. We know that. But his shooting and passing ranges, I mean, last game against Brighton was 48% success rate with the long passing ranges from the back. The way he can probably do a little bit better. With set pieces, I'm not too sure yet. And I know a lot of teams are going to test him with that. We have Tottenham coming up next week or the week
Mm-hmm.
after. I know Tottenham will test him with set pieces. Then in the center back, they're the way they're playing, the way the wing backs are going back and forth, it's obvious that they are beginning to adapt to his system. The
Yes.
team is beginning to adapt to his system, And then when you look at Cunha, Mbuemo, and Shesko, the way they were just rotating in that front line when Cunha goes up, the other two drop back. I mean, it was just phenomenal how they were just it felt like they've been playing together for a while. And if this is what we're going to see moving forward, then honestly, I'm excited. I'm not one to get carried away, but you don't win 3 straight games out of luck. It's not just it's not pure luck. And then when you think about the midfield, which has been our major problem, he's almost solving that problem with Casemiro and Bruno.
Yeah.
Bruno, because Bruno is now playing in the midfield, he seems to fade out in the game, but his contribution to the team week in, week out is immense. You cannot underestimate it. So Casemiro and Bruno in that midfield, which was our problem before, because when Bruno goes up top to create, Casemiro is left alone in the midfield, and then 1 or 2 passes, and then the opposition is in our box 18. You know what I mean? But now it's difficult. It's harder. But the problem with this is that by the time you get to the 60th, 65th minute of the game, he has to substitute the center backs and the wing backs because of the amount of work they are doing. It's not easy to sustain 90 minutes doing that. But then we're playing once a week, so it should benefit us right now. So I mean, I'm optimistic, I'm hopeful, and I'm enjoying what I'm seeing right now. I'm enjoying it.
See, I'm also enjoying how happy you guys are. In fact, this episode, I think we should call this episode True United Bench.
I like
the,
I like
the way it's going. And we might as well jump to the United Brighton game. I mean, I agree with what you guys are saying. I think that as passionate fans, it's easy for us to get ahead of ourselves, and I think you guys are getting a bit ahead of yourselves.
I'm
But
not.
one thing I saw in that game was at least for like 75 minutes, how limited United made Brighton look. I was
correct.
looking for Brighton to create chances in that game, and they did not until towards the end of the game. And I think that goes to what Casey was saying about learning how to close out the game. Because if they were a bit careless in that game, they could have dropped 2 points, and that game could have ended in a draw. As much as United played well, it could still have slipped away. But apart from that, the way it limited Brighton, the way, to Suki's point about midfield, I thought United dominated that midfield. And I was even thinking, I was saying, maybe I tweeted something like that during the match that this Baleba that United has been going after, where is he? I could hardly find him on
Yeah,
the field. And
yeah.
someone would have to make a really good case that he's still a fit and he should come. He has the qualities to come after that match. So, I mean, what else did you see in that match that is worth, talking about and reviewing?
Um, I do agree with all of you. You both are absolutely correct. But for me, I will get carried away. Don't get. I won't get carried away. But if we really pay attention, if you've been watching United, you really been paying attention. Under Amorim, we've been dominating games. We just cannot close out, or if something happens, we
We
do
cannot
not
score.
react exactly. But look at the difference in the quality or how the boys were able to respond when Brighton were on the comeback. United before would drop their shoulders and that was it. We knew that equalizer was coming. But the mind, the ability for players like Bruno, Mbomo to step up in that dying minutes. Look at Bruno. I believe in this day and age, Bruno should start getting assist numbers for leaving that pass for Mbumo. We see it all the time. It's just brilliant. The technical awareness,
It's-
knowing the movements, everyone understanding where they're going to be, the chemistry now,
It's
it is
amazing.
just wonderful. And
People,
then
people, people should check True Bench on X to the point that you were making, Casey.
mhm.
That leaving that ball, that dummy.
Literally, if you watch that, when the
Mhm.
before the ball even came to Bruno, right? He looked over his shoulder and he saw Umbremo, and he ran toward the pass, anticipating that the ball will come. I mean, that's
Yes.
just brilliant. He
Yeah,
anticipated that, look, he will give me this ball. I'm going to run towards it. And Umbremo to look and said, okay, this ball is going to come to me. So he made the run. It was, look,
yeah.
from this world. The chemistry in that team right now, Ahmad, Umbremo, Shesko, Bruno, oh my goodness. I give them a
That
few
is
more
that's
games.
what yes, yeah. It's just the chemistry is undeniable at this point. And just that split second of Bruno doing that dummy froze the defense. The
Yeah,
defenders were not able to catch up with
Oh,
Mbumo
they
anymore.
couldn't. Oh,
And
they
yeah,
couldn't.
the state of mind for Mbumo to finish in that capacity, usually we know how much pressure, high stakes it can be at that moment. But he finished it with a worldie. No, that was just brilliant. I think United is the team to watch. I know we're talking about, not being carried away or whatnot. Yes, it's might be a roller coaster here or there, but I think with one game a week, this team growing in confidence, the
Yeah,
players starting to
absolutely.
know each other better, we are going to compete. We're going to be a problem. Even from the first game against Arsenal,
Uh,
we dominated Arsenal throughout. You understand? If we're looking at stats, the XG or whatnot, United looked good, but it was not reflecting on the pitch. But now it is reflecting.
yeah.
So I think that is going to be a scary team.
yeah, yeah. I mean, fantastic. I'm happy for you guys, and I hope
Mhm.
that uh,
And let's
weeks
not
to
forget.
come we'll be here. I hope weeks to come we'll continue to to sing
Let's
the
not
praises
forget.
of Amorim.
Let's
I
not
know many
forget.
of you wanted him out, but that's normal. That's natural. I'm not even going to
Yeah.
beef you. How many times have I said Maresca out of my team? So that happens with
Yeah.
passionate fans. But
Mhm.
let's see how that goes. Let's go to
Yep.
the second match really quickly. Arsenal Crystal Palace right now, and this is where the rest of the team should be put on notice. Arsenal may not be playing too well, but a few things are happening. One, they're getting the goals that are giving them the wins and getting the
Yeah.
3 points. And two, it's very difficult for them to concede goals.
Yeah.
Opposing
Their
teams are
defense
finding
is
it so hard to even create chances. Arsenal has not considered a goal in 8 hours of football.
That's
In fact, there
ridiculous.
was a start. There was a start that they hadn't even considered a shot on target for 109 minutes until after that statement they considered one that was a shot on target against them.
Mhm.
So this team is scary right now, and we have to say. And at the same time, some of their fiercest
Rivals.
opponents, rivals are dropping points left, right, and center. We need to have a meeting before these guys win the league in January. What do you guys think about that Crystal Palace game?
So from my perspective, I think Arsenal is thriving on a balanced team. Their team is well balanced. Again, back to front. Well balanced team. When you have people like Declan Rice in your team, when you have people like Saliba and Gabriel in your in your defense, you know what I mean? When you have people like Saka up top. And I think Gyökeres is beginning to understand his role in that team. It's not going to be like it was for him in Sporting Lisbon. You know, I just think for a team like Crystal Palace that has such good quality, they were not able to break down
Yeah.
Arsenal at all. Arsenal's
Yeah.
defense is solid. We have to give them that. I don't know how they've done it, but injury can stop all this in a heartbeat. Gabriel
Yeah.
gets injured, or Saliba and Gabriel gets injured, or Declan. I mean, they had replacements for most of their players on that team, but I don't know if they have a replacement for Declan Rice. I don't know. If
I mean, I'll let Casey chime in, but I think in that midfield they have a number of combinations that could potentially work, even without Declan Rice. Of course, depending on the opposition.
Right.
Zubimendi is doing the
He's
Lord's
doing
work.
great.
It's
He's doing great,
fantastic.
yeah.
It's
He's fantastic.
fantastic.
Fantastic, yeah.
Marino, when it comes in, it does what he needs to do.
To do, yeah.
Odegaard is out now, but when he comes back, he's going to fit right into that midfield as well. So they have a true bench. They have a deep bench. Pun intended there. But but I'll let Casey chime in real quick.
Yeah, for me, the quality of champions tend to shine when you're resilient, grind out result. And that's what Arsenal is doing at the that is scary to see because over the years, Arsenal has never been that team. So I think the team has matured. They're able to stay focused on their task and be as resilient as possible. It's difficult to break them down. How do you lose when no one is scoring against you? 10
Yeah,
clean sheets in
yeah,
in the 13 games so far they've played, and they're
yeah,
sometimes scoring for fun. We saw it against Atletico Madrid. But even when the goals are not coming through, they get that vital one as needed. That
yeah.
is a
Absolutely.
good quality for championship winning teams. And we see it now. But I would say this. This is what I would say. We have seen, Arsenal play well for seasons upon seasons, but cannot close it out. We
Mm-hmm.
just talked about United finding it difficult to close out games, but can Arsenal close out the season? That is when we're really going to tell. They can be great now, but when it becomes the tail end of the season, can they close it out? I think if they continue like this, they will. But I have seen enough positives for me to say yes, this team is a problem. They're going to be a problem. Like you talked about their midfield. I believe they have one of the strongest midfields in the league, if not the strongest. Look
Yeah,
at Eze's goal. That goal was just it was fantastic. You
yeah.
understand? Out of let's
it was
not
a
forget
show.
that
It was a show of goal, in my opinion. How do you show up against your own team like that? So
I don't think that not so much because that was the only way he could have scored that goal. There
yeah, I
was
exactly.
know.
no other way.
I think so. Yes.
So yeah. So that it's fantastic. To Casey's point, I think that maybe the difference this year, in maybe the ability to be able to close it out is the fact that they have a deep bench and
Yeah.
They
they've done
recruited
good
really well. They
recruitment.
recruited really well this
Yeah.
year.
Yes.
Really, really
So
well. Really,
I
really well.
think that may ultimately make a difference. To our last game for review, that's Everton against Spurs. Everton is now going through a stretch that I do not fully understand. I think they've lost maybe three straight on the bounce, or maybe they've not been able to win in three. That game, I mean, if you played for another 90 minutes, Spurs will continue to score. They didn't show anything, you know. Everton didn't create much. And Spurs, on a good day, they are easy to create chances again. So you wonder what is really going on with Everton. They were playing at home. We sang Grealish, we're singing his praise, for the first few weeks. It's beginning to disappear a little bit. Is Everton going to be
A
in
little
trouble?
bit, a whole
What's
lot.
really going on? Yeah.
Let me just say that maybe now you can see why Pep Guardiola let him go. Yeah, I mean, Everton, honestly, I'm not surprised that they're doing what they're doing right now. I know we were singing praises about Disby Hall and Grealish, you know. They will go through this deep, then they will come and win a few games, draw a few games. I think that's Everton for you. They made the game really easy for Tottenham, for the Spurs, in my own opinion. I was hoping that they would kind of slow Spurs down, a little
Five.
bit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's Everton. Everton has always been a mid-table team. They will go on
Yeah.
another run, win a few games, then they will lose a few. I think this is just Everton for you, You might argue that it's too early in the season, their first loss in their new stadium. Yeah, but I just think this is Everton for you. Spurs, on the other hand, they saw that Everton wasn't playing anything and they took advantage of it and they went 3 goals up. And I think, like you said, Everton didn't come to play. If you ask me, again, if they kept playing that game, Spurs would have kept scoring, So, I mean, typical for me of what I expect from Everton to be honest.
All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
I agree. I think Everton has a huge flaw. I don't think they have a good enough striker in order to propel them. They don't have a clinical striker, in my opinion. That will continue to bite them. Yeah, Grealish looked good here and there. He started the season off great or whatnot. But yeah, to your point, I do agree. They're just going to be a mid-level team. That's who
Yeah.
they're going to be. But I want to take a second here just to talk about Thomas Frank. I want to give him his flowers. I think he has transformed Spurs to be a tough unit. Yes, they were away from home and they just dispatched Everton and whatnot. But if you've been watching their games, they've looked very good. They're dangerous on set pieces. They look very live and they play entertaining football. You understand?
Yeah.
Thomas Frank been able to make them a well-organized unit. So I want to give him his flowers. I think Spurs will be good, very good this season. Now, yeah, anyone who's playing Spurs now is going to feel it
Remember I said it
because of Thomas.
earlier. Remember I said earlier that they would test us in set pieces when we play them in
Yes,
2 weeks, right? I
yes.
said, and Wally,
And
remember I
get
told you
Mhm.
and guess
last
where
weekend,
Chelsea is? Guess where Chelsea is going next weekend? Spurs.
Spurs.
Oh man.
Yeah,
We need to slow.
it doesn't get any easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember I told you, Wally, last week that we need to slow Spurs down. And you're like, don't worry, they will slow themselves down. Maybe not. Maybe not this
Yeah, but
season.
I mean, from a Chelsea's perspective, and I'll keep being optimistic. Sports is usually we say it's a 3 point lane. It's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
guaranteed 3 point for Chelsea. But
Yeah.
who knows with Thomas Frank, like Casey said, it could be a different ball game next Saturday. But we'll see. The other headlines outside of these 3 games that I thought we should talk about very very quickly. Salah's form. Should that bother Liverpool? I mean, he scored over the weekend, but even at that, this is not the Salah we've grown to see over the last few seasons. What do you guys think about that? And could that be the reason Liverpool is actually, or one of the reasons Liverpool is struggling at this point?
I don't think so. I would say the reason I give that is because if you've paid attention to Salah's career so far, he thrives when his team is excellent defending. If you're able to cover the back, Salah can do damage up top. Liverpool has been very frail defending. Now, you cannot put all that on Salah to go and attack and create the goals. Gakpo is trying, yeah, but Salah, it's not easy for him. age is coming up on his, up on him and whatnot. But I do believe that Salah will find his form. Look, he's not playing great, but he's still scoring here and there. You understand? I know he was benched to start the Champions League game, but Salah will find his form. The main thing is Liverpool needs to be able to protect their backline so that Salah can, get into the free-flowing pressure off his shoulders and just start scoring again. But if that doesn't happen, it's going to be very hard for Salah. But I do think he'll find his form. We've seen this before.
So let me start by saying, and the slot is not concerned about him, so why should I be? But anyway, so
Good point. Good point.
So here are a few things that I think with Liverpool. Let me start with, when you take a well-oiled machine and you keep running it, it keeps performing for you, which is what happened last season. They didn't make any change to that team. He just took that team the way it was. And now, they won the league. But now he wants to put his stamp on the team, right? He wants to bring in some players that he wants on the team. He wants to kind of, I'm not saying modify the play, but he wants to put his stamp and his stamp on that Liverpool team. And it's going to take a while. When you bring in that caliber of players, it will take a while for you to oil that machine really well. They have not replaced Alexander-Arnold. I keep saying it. You see, those passes that come from the midfield, from the back into the box are not coming anymore. Salah used to be on the receiving end of those quality passes. You see what I'm trying to say? So those little things here and there, those little tweaks that are happening here and there, it's going to affect the dynamics of the team, right? Do I call it a crisis? I mean, when you lose 4 straight, I was telling Wale last week, it was 3 last week, and I said that's how City started. Well, this is 4 now. But I think those little tweaks here and there, and to Casey's point, when you really look at Van Dijk, right? Van Dijk doesn't have pace anymore. Didn't even really have pace before. But once you're able to get the ball past him, I think more than likely it's a goal. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, their defensive frailty is really, really affecting the team. And let's not underestimate the pressure on those players. There's a lot of pressure. Yeah. We can tell the manager is telling us that there's a lot of pressure because when you listen to his post-match conferences, you are upset that teams are going long against Liverpool. Let them come and play in the midfield. Why are you upset? I mean, it's like being upset that Arsenal is scoring 3/4 of all, 60% of their goals with set pieces. I mean, come on. You have to find whatever works for you to win games. So hey.
I was surprised at that statement when he mentioned it, that a lot of teams are now playing long balls and it's difficult for them to deal with it. And I'm thinking you have 2 center backs that are 6'4", 6'5", or something like that. They are tall. You don't have height problem. Even your full backs are not, maybe except for Kirkers, they are not short. So why are you complaining about long balls? But we see that when you are when you are in crisis and you are frustrated, you have to deflect and talk about the opponent. Another team that I think, this I bleed blue, so I have to talk about the crisis at Chelsea. For me, I've been saying, this team is young, this team is young, this team is young, and I feel like Chelsea keeps making this recruitment mistake where they're not bringing 1 or 2 experienced world-class players into that team. And it shows every now and then. I wanted us to quickly review that second goal that Sunderland scored. Everybody has been going after Chalobah and Tosin. And the reason is that striker held the ball for at least 5-6 seconds. He held it in the box and he wasn't doing anything with it. Chalobah and Tosin were around him. They didn't challenge for it. He waited for cavalry to arrive. 2 Sunderland players moved from the midfield and he gave them the ball and they got that goal. My question to you guys is it the fault of the defender, those 2 defenders, or even a reflection of Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez in the midfield that didn't run with the runners who were coming to receive the ball. Is it a leadership problem where at that minute, all you want to do is win the game? You're not thinking that your opponent can also score and you will lose the game. There are many things to say. As you can see, I'm upset, but I just wanted to get your unbiased opinion about this.
If you start with the defenders, right? It's what 89th minute. Was it even 88th minute? I think it was the
Yeah.
88th
It
minute.
was,
Yeah, was the
yeah.
80th? Yeah,
It was actually
and
93rd. It was actually 93rd minute.
93rd minute. Yeah, it's extra time.
Yeah,
So now at
yeah,
that point, they are thinking give away penalty at this point because he's back to them protecting the ball with his hand shielding them, and they're both thinking, okay, if we give away penalty, then we've cost our team the game. But then if you don't try and, so they are hoping the midfielders will come with the runners, give themselves, back up. So, I mean, I think I will blame more of the midfielders. That if I was the defender as well, I wouldn't want to give away a penalty at that point in time. But, I mean, these are professionals. You expect them to do what is necessary. But at the end of the day, it would be so easy to concede a penalty in that situation. So easy. So I
yeah,
think the blame should be on the midfielders and let two players, run all the way to your box 18. Nobody tracking back. I mean, yeah, they're tracking back, but with like, okay, I think this is a done deal, or maybe he won't score the goal, maybe he'll play it over the bar. Just thinking whatever, is feasible at that time to make yourself feel good about what you're supposed to be doing that you're not doing. So I think
yeah.
that's for me. That's
I see your point. I do see your point, Suki. I think it's a good point. However, I'll go in the exact opposite direction. The defenders are 100% of the blame.
defender.
Uh, make it 150%. How can you let that happen? What are we talking about here? I understand the game is almost over. You're searching for a winner, and everybody goes forward. I understand that the midfielders were not able to come back on time. It happens. Those are forgivable. We've seen them happen so many times in football. Caicedo is not the fastest. We know we're not expecting. Those runners who are coming to support Sunderland attack. What was his name? I don't even remember right now. But I understand that you might not get back on time. But you had two defenders there. The supporting defender could have literally walked over and kicked that ball
And
from
keep
his
that
leg.
ball
He
away.
just stood there and look, there are some things you can't even do on your Sunday league football park. You understand? This is one of them. This is something that on this level should not even be seen. I didn't even watch this game, to be honest with you. It was later. I was seeing my notifications were blowing up. Everyone's like, you need to see this second goal. I just went to watch the goal first. And when I saw, I was shocked. I've never seen anything like that in football before.
Yeah, yeah,
How can you get there? We're talking about a good 5 to 6 seconds before the
yeah,
supporting cast gets to the box.
yeah,
You have two defenders. Now, the attacker is leaning on one. I understand.
yeah,
He
yeah.
doesn't want to give a penalty.
But
What
the
is the
other
other
one, which
defender
is
doing?
Chalobah, yes.
Yes. Chalobah was just there standing.
He's
And if you pay,
watching the players that are coming, he's tracking, waiting for them to get there.
he doesn't, at that point, it doesn't matter because they are not a threat. The threat was the striker with the ball.
Yeah,
If you pay attention to what was going on, he was looking around. He looked forward. He looked
yeah.
at
He
it.
was.
What?
He was waiting. He was waiting. Yes.
Yeah, he was so undecisive. Like I said, Chalobah could have walked over there and kicked that ball if he wanted to. The thing too is that if he had even put pressure on the attacker, there's no way he would have passed the ball back for that goal. It's impossible because now you've cut the angle for him to make that pass. But you stood there and opened yourself up. Look at how open he was. His
Experience.
stance was so indecisive. And
Yeah,
he was even used as a blocker for the goal.
Yeah,
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
yeah, yeah,
and now
yeah,
also affecting the goalie. Oh,
yeah.
that was what they always say, schoolboy defending or whatnot. But no, this is worse than
Schoolboy
that. This is
error. Yeah,
schoolboy can't
yeah,
even defend. What are
yeah.
we? That was
Absolutely.
just no, no. This was 100% the fault of Chalobah. Not even the. I won't
Tosin.
blame the defense as a whole. I won't blame the midfielders. No, I understand all those other things can happen. Transition football, we see it all the time. But as a defender on this level, to stand and ball watch to this degree, in fact, he could have timed how long it would take the supporting cast to get to the box because he
Like
could
I'm
see
looking
it.
at, I'm looking at the time. Yeah, they're coming. They're coming.
Exactly. No, that if I were a coach, if I were a coach, I would bench him for a good month. Let him go and sit and reflect because there are some certain things that should not be happening. Those were three vital points Sunderland got there. We know they are newly promoted, they are playing well. But in my opinion, that game could have gone anyway. But for you
Yeah.
to lose it in that manner, oh no, that's unforgivable. That was really bad. It was the defense. 100%
Let's
of the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree, and I think the coach has to really, really look at that and see where. I mean, let's say fall where he wants to
Adjustments
fall,
need to
but
be made.
yeah, yeah,
Do you
adjustment
think
needs
Madrid
to be made.
that coach to do
let's
that?
let's let's look ahead and try to look at the three games that we're going to review next week. We have Scorecall, where our fans get a chance to win $100 if they predict the result of three games correctly. The first one is Spurs versus Chelsea, and for that, I also wanted us to do a combined 11. So let's look at the different positions and see who we will pick to start. Let's say we wanted to have a combined 11. Who do we pick? Let's start from the goalkeeper. Vicario or Sanchez?
Mm. Tough.
I'm
Why
telling
is
you.
that tough? Why is that tough? I think I'll go for Vicario. He's a much better goalkeeper.
Vicario. Vicario.
I
I'll
will
go
lean
for Vicario. I think he's a much
that.
better
Just
Vicario.
goalkeeper.
barely leaning. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Pedro Porro or Reece James?
Reece James.
Reese.
Reece, yeah, I agree too. Spence or Cucurella?
Cucurella.
Cuckoo.
Cucurella as well. Van der
Mm-hmm.
Vaart or Chalobah? I know the
Van der
answer to this.
Veen. Van der Veen.
I think we should keep this one for now. Yeah.
Yes,
We know
we
the
can
answer.
skip it. Danso or Achepong?
Ah. Mm. Ah.
I don't know.
I'm going
I
to
don't know.
Caicedo for the next one.
That's
I think I'll go for Achepong, not just because I'm a Chelsea fan, but I
actually
just
fun.
see
Okay.
the development of that guy has been very, very rapid. He's
Oh,
he's
I
from the
haven't.
academy, he's coming and he's done really well. Sometimes he plays like well beyond his years. So for that reason, I think I'll
Mm-hmm.
choose him. Let's move to the
Yeah.
midfield. Paulina or Caicedo?
Caicedo for me.
Caicedo, that's not even debatable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Caicedo for
Okay.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Bentancur or Enzo Fernandez?
I just think it depends on the day, to be honest.
I'll go for Bentacle.
Bentancur too.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
I'll
I'll
do
do
Bentancur.
Bentancur as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kudus or Neto?
I'll go for Neto.
Kudus. Kudus has been playing well this season. I will
Yeah,
go
but
for
Neto
Kudus.
has been playing really well as well.
Let me be the
Dude,
tiebreaker. I'll go for Kudus as well. I think he hedges him just about. Yeah.
Well, it must be
Brendan
very,
Johnson
very,
or
very
Garnacho?
slight edge.
I
Yeah.
think,
Brendan Johnson or
yeah,
Garnacho?
Johnson.
I know you
Mm,
guys are biased.
mm.
I'm not. I'm not being biased. No, I think. Anyway, since we're just picking a level, let me leave my thoughts to myself. But I'll go for Johnson. I think with time, everyone will see why Galacho is not.
Oh,
And
yeah,
for
he will reveal himself. He will reveal
yeah,
himself.
so
He'll reveal himself.
On this one, I'll go Brendan Johnson as well. Xavi Simons
mhm.
or Jao Pedro?
Simmons.
Ooh,
Simmons
wow.
so far has looked like a very good signing to me. He has, you know, the way he's been drifting, around. I'll go for Simmons. I think Simmons.
So I would have gone for Jao Pedro. I'm actually struggling to
Go
see
for John Pedro.
Zip Simmons' impact so far. I mean I see the what you mean by the drifting and all that. Remember, Chelsea was watching him and almost signing him as well. So I've been paying attention to his game. It's just not really been as impactful as I thought it was going to be. And finally, Richarlison or Liam Delap. I hear Liam Delap may be available for the next Premier League. We'll see if he's available midweek. But so if he's available, he might start. So that's why I put him there. Richarlison or Liam Delap.
Richarlison.
Richarlison too. All right. But what do you predict will be the result of this game?
Who is home?
Spurs.
Spurs
Don't
is on.
remember.
Spurs is
Spurs
Spurs
home.
is on.
Well, Spurs. I think Spurs will win just because Chelsea has been very inconsistent, and I think this would also the way they lost to Sunderland would be a mental blow to the team, and the team is not mature. This Chelsea team is not mature yet, so I would say I expect Spurs to win. I would say
What
maybe
score?
2-0. I don't see Chelsea scoring.
2-0. Chelsea will not
I was
score.
actually going
Wow.
for, I
Okay.
was actually going for 3-2.
I
3-2
don't
Spurs.
see
3-2 in favor
maybe
of
2-0.
Spurs.
Spurs,
That's
yes.
I
yes.
I think I think I
So
think Chelsea wins this. I think Enzo Maresca, when he's pushed to the wall and he's facing
He
a good
delivers.
team, I think he prepares differently. I will go for 1-3 in favor of Chelsea. That's just me.
okay,
Yeah, yeah.
that should
Liverpool,
be it.
Aston Villa. What's your prediction?
Aston
I'm going
Villa,
for 5.
Aston Villa is on some mad form right now.
Yes, yes.
I think 2-1.
2-1
Aston Villa.
Liverpool.
2-1
Oh
Aston
wow,
Villa.
Aston Villa. Wow, 5 games in a row.
They will
Wow,
lose. They
that's
will lose the
serious.
5 games. They will
I am
lose
going for 5 in a row.
the 5
Yes,
in a row.
yes. I like the
I
2-1
think I
prediction. I'll
I, I
say
think
2-1 as well.
Liverpool wins this one 2-0.
2-0. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then the last game is City Bournemouth. City at home.
This Bournemouth team and this City that can't stop scoring. I don't know. Whew. 2-1 City.
2-1 City. Kaycee.
I'm going 3-0. I expect City to be angry and just come out firing. Double from Haaland.
I go 2-2 draw.
Haaland will
2-2.
score the 2 goals, but it's too. Aston Villa will score. You can,
No, Bournemouth. You mean? Yeah.
sorry,
One
Bournemouth.
more.
Bournemouth. Man City defense is vulnerable as well.
Yeah.
So
let's
not
leave
concern
it
though.
there. The last item that I want us to talk about very briefly to close out is the El Clasico. There's no way that big match would happen over the weekend, and we won't
Yeah.
touch it. It was a very intense game, bad blood flowing on display. Those two teams don't like each other, and it was clear to see. I thought for the first time in a while, Real Madrid had the edge. They were better.
Yeah.
That
They
game
could
could
have
have ended
embarrassed
5-1.
Barcelona. They could have embarrassed Barcelona.
They could have embarrassed Barcelona. Mbappe is in a scary form. I think that guy can score from
Yeah.
anywhere. I think Jude Bellingham is coming back. That assist for the
Yeah.
first goal that counted was something else. And he's now playing in more of his
This-
traditional role. So he's really in the
Yeah.
offensive midfield area where he
Yes.
can cause a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
early in the game, but right now on current form, Real Madrid is looking like the better team.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Atletico, I think they won today 2-0 as well.
2-0. Yeah, 2-0. The Atletico won today 2-0. In fact, I was saying online earlier that in La Liga, the top 4 teams, sometimes the gap in points and quality
It's
is so
unreal.
much,
It's unreal. It's
is
unreal.
unreal compared to the other team.
Yeah.
And that's something that you can't. Premier League is so tight and so different. That's why
Yeah.
Sunderland can go to Stamford Bridge and take 3 points away.
Sunderland,
It
are they not
doesn't
number two right
happen.
now? Are they not number two on the table?
Sunderland is number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, after 9 games. After 9 games. And we have teams like
Absolutely.
City and Chelsea in the mix.
Wow. Yeah. Absolutely. And United is 4th right now. Can you believe that?
I can't.
And Chelsea is 9th. Yeah, I
Unbelievable.
can't.
I can. I
If I told you this 2 weeks
Oh.
ago that will be first, will you have believed it?
well, I'm happy in this time like that. I'll say that. That's
Thank you.
funny.
Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful, wonderful conversation.
Thanks,
Casey,
Jason, for
I
coming
think
out.
we have to bring you back because I mean your insight.
Thank you.
See your commentary about that Bruno Fernandes pass or no pass. I mean that was classy.
I appreciate
So
it.
guys, stay
Don't
tuned
be
to the
having me.
channel. Stay tuned
Thank
to the
you.
channel, subscribe, and look out for our X handle. We're True Bench on X as well. You guys should do us a solid and subscribe. Until next time, and next time when we bring
Guys, have a good one.
woo, woo.
All right.
Yeah, you guys
Take care.
take care.
Take it
All
easy.
right, guys.